Okay, so unsurprisingly, if you're not a fan of Green Day, this video is not really going to be for you because this is about a Green Day concert I went to, and because I love Green Day, it's going to be a very positive video about Green Day, and I know some people in the music scene like to very much have their heads up their own ass about this band because they're too emo or too edgy or whatever, but hey, they're one of the first bands that got me into music, they're my second favorite band of all time, and that's not going to change because of pretension. So, let's talk about that concert. I feel like this should go without saying before we start on the concert thing, but of course you're allowed to hate their band, you're allowed to hate the guy, I don't care. You can have your own opinion, obviously no one's objectively correct when it comes to music. Love them, hate them, it doesn't matter. I'm just purely stating my opinion. Now this was my first time getting to see Green Day, because around when I got into Green Day, it was around when Billy was starting his stint at rehab and around like after the iHeartRadio performance. So I never really had the chance to see them, but this was honestly well worth the wait. When you're 30 years into your career, and I believe it is literally 30 at this point, yes, because they formed in '87, and you still sound pretty damn good live, you're doing something right. And of course, he doesn't sound like Billy in 2004 did, but then again, Billy in 2004 didn't sound like Billy in 1994, because Billy in 2004 stopped trying to have a fake British accent. It all changes. He seemed a little more high-pitched than usual, then again, I'm fairly sure he was definitely on something, considering his mannerism. Nothing bad, just you can kind of tell. He sounded fine, as I said. He's a good singer, at least for a punk band. Oh yeah, I'm gonna comment about them not being a punk band now. But yeah, he's a good singer, at least for a punk band, and his rhythm playing is, as usual, pretty damn good. Billy Joe's never been much of a lead player. He learned how to play his leads like 2 albums ago and still doesn't really do much lead work except for one or two small instances during a show. But his rhythm playing is as good as it can be, with him attacking his guitar like it's trying to eat him as he plays his power chords. And then, of course, Jason White doing most of the lead work, being a fantastic lead guitarist with all of the solos and lead work and songs like Boulevard. Boulevard's a big one where like that little solo piece towards the end of Boulevard playing over the rhythm guitar Jason White is very good at. I didn't have any complaints about any of them sounded. Trey sounded fine, still solid behind a kit. And Jeff Matica, who was only out there for a couple songs, still held his own pretty damn well, like during his acoustic part in Minority, or when Billy would take off his guitar and he would come out as like the rhythm guitarist as Jason would stick with playing the leads. And Jason Freese also sounded great. His saxophone parts during King for a Day, the Careless Whisper interpolation in King for a Day, how he kept going through the I Can't Get No Satisfaction and Hey Jude parts, stupid like mummy sarcophagus helmet during King for a Day, and of course his keyboard work was solid as usual. Now what I want to talk about is Mike. Mike sounded great, and here's why Mike sounded great as an issue. Starting with American Idiot, Mike's bass work got lazier. You think of Mike during, you think of iconic bass lines, Panic Song, the solo in Welcome to Paradise, She, Longview, Minority. There's so many good bass lines in Green Day's early career because of Dirt. And those are just singles. Deeper Cuts have, I don't think Panic Song was a single though, but even Deeper Cuts have great bass work. But around the time that American Idiot came out, he started becoming more of just the standard root note, follow the rhythm guitar bassist. And there's nothing wrong with basses like that, but especially even if he does it, there's nothing wrong with that, but you still hope that you're going to get to hear some decent work from him, and it's been kind of lacking ever since American Idiot. Now, my experiment was, if he seemed like he was a little bit more off because of his age, it would be excusable, but nope, he played every single line from early Green Day without any trouble, including She and Longview, and Minority, basically showing that this is just a product of laziness. Does that suck? Yeah. But hey, the new Green Day album isn't horrible. I liked it, and I love 21st Century Breakdown American Idiot as well. So, missing element of Green Day sound aside, they still managed to make up for it. Also, one thing I want to say is, coming from someone who's not the biggest fan of 21 Guns, the little solo acoustic performance of 21 Guns at the end was surprisingly solid. as was the performance of Good Riddance. When he comes out after the second encore, well, technically it is the second encore, when he comes out for the second encore with just an acoustic guitar and the rest of the band is done. He played 21 Guns and Good Riddance, and sounded great in both of them. The first encore was American Idiot and Jesus of Suburbia, which of course sounded great. American Idiot always hypes the crowd, and Jesus of Suburbia is just a fantastic ride to sit there for even 9 minutes in the studio version. It ran closer to 11 minutes this time around. His little interpretations of the I said heyo and doing the heyo thing back and forth to the crowd are fine, but he does it for like 5 minutes every other song. It got especially annoying in Hitching a Ride, which is one of my favorite Green Day songs of all time, and that got paused for like 7 minutes in the middle. But that big explosion that you see in the studio version of Hitching a Ride too, but they did that live, and that big explosion at the end of Hitching a Ride is probably the loudest they got all night, and in all honesty was fantastic. Hitching a Ride and St. Jimmy are both in my top 10 favorite Green Day songs of all time. Both were played, and both sounded great. There are really no complaints. I've never been the biggest fan of Are We the Waiting, but it sets up St. Jimmy rather perfectly. And the opener was Know Your Enemy, sounded great there. Having people up on stage to sing during Know Your Enemy in Longview, having someone come up to play guitar during Knowledge. It's the standard Green Day fare. But considering this was my first time getting to see a Green Day show, it was honestly amazing, and I enjoyed pretty much every moment. This was just a little filler video talking about my concert. I'm sorry that I know this concert was Monday and that I should have gotten this video out sooner, but it's also been my first week of school for the year, so I've been really tired and sleeping in pretty much every free moment that I have. So there hasn't really been much time for me to, devote to this. I do have the schedule going for this week, though, and this weekend, this Labor Day weekend. This is going to be coming out on early Saturday morning, I believe, and then tomorrow or late Saturday is going to be the Uzi review, and then definitely before the end of the week I'm getting out the Uzi review, and I'm also going to get out a little surprise reaction thing that I was approached about that I'm kind of interested in, and we're going to do that towards the end of the weekend. And then moving into the next week, we have plenty of other things planned, like LCD Sound System, the first episode of me ranking a band's albums from worst to best, and possibly the new Maroon 5 song, and also possibly the new Script album. We're going to see where that goes. But I know I want to do Uzi and this other reaction before the end of the week, and I definitely want to get Sound System done this week as well. So thank you guys for being so patient with me. The concert was great. The first week of school was pretty good. I'm tired. I'm going to be going to bed now. Me going to bed at 1 a.m. is practically unheard of because that's early for me. But I'm exhausted. We hope I act like I have a team. I hope you guys have been doing well. Thank you for continuing to be patient with me. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking, subscribing, commenting, your opinions. It means a lot. I love getting discussions going. I love this community. Love you all. Hope you have a great day, and I will see you soon with that Uzi review.